What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy and we've got ourselves the round 11 preview. We are praying once again for that prize card luck, and it's been tough to come by these last few weeks. I'm hopeful that the changes we've made, which there are a fair few in certain modes but not so much in others, we're kind of mixing and matching here and there in hopes that we can find the good week once again. But hopefully you guys are keen as myself to join me here today. If you enjoy the video you see here today, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you are new, jump in the Discord that I've just created down in the description below, and without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So here we are, as per usual, jumping on the homepage, and we're going to start off with our tips. This one, I don't know whether to call it a write-off or not, but there's some that obviously are pretty easy to tell. So we're going to go Brisbane over Hawthorn, most likely. Going to go Essendon over Richmond, and we're going to go Port over North. But outside of that, that's probably the only ones I have the utmost confidence in. And that's crazy to say because I haven't ticked West Coast. West Coast, after beating Melbourne last week, has me feeling like I can't trust the easy West Coast bet against them. I feel like they're now a lot harder to bet against or to tip against. It's just so tough. We're looking here though, and this Geelong Giants one is the battle of the struggle right now. I do not know who that'd go to. On the top of my head, I want to say Giants, because Geelong 3 losses in a row doesn't help. However, it is at GMHBA. On the other hand though, Giants have won the last 3 times they've played at GMHBA, so it's like, which side do I want to take? I'm going to go Geelong in this case, but again, could easily go either way. I've said it multiple times before for matchups like this, can go either way, so I'm not confident with that pick. But we go Melbourne and St Kilda. Melbourne losing to West Coast is definitely going to be a bit of a wake-up call for them, but I think they're still going to beat the Saints. Saints have just been struggling mightily so far this season, and I don't see it improving anytime soon, man. It's unfortunate, but Melbourne taking the win over St Kilda. Then we got Freo versus Collingwood. This one at Optus Stadium. Friday night clash, a very interesting one. Could go either way as well, you know. I'm going to tip the, I guess, upset. I don't think many people are thinking the Dockers are going to win. At Optus, they could pull it off, maybe. So next we've got Carlton and Gold Coast. My heart says Carlton. I think Gold Coast definitely has a chance. I think I'm going to go Carlton. I think Carlton will be able to pull that one off. And then tonight, the Dogs versus the Swans. I can't trust the Dogs to save my life, so I'm going to say the Swans. I really can't trust the Dogs, so we're going to go there. I nearly forgot Adelaide and Eagles, so let's make sure we get on top of that. I'm going to say, oh, this is tough. I'm going to say Adelaide. I think it's going to be Adelaide. I don't know if I'm confident in that pick, though. It's at Adelaide Oval, so it should go that way, but I'm just not confident. Anyways, we're going to move on to the not so changed up one. We're going to go to Star Powers. And when I say that, I mean that in the most literal sense. Everything has been untouched. We have not changed anything, so I'm going to be kind of brief with this one. Nick Dacos, Zach Merritt, Hayden Young, Nick Martin, and Maxi Gawn. Often the times that you mess up is when you make changes that are a bit too quick. So I thought about taking out Merritt with 78 last week, but if I take him out, then he could have an absolutely amazing one this week. So I'm going with this lineup once again in hopes that they can pull it out for me. 177 is obviously not what you want to see, but I know they're all capable of playing very good football, and I'm just hoping to catch them at the right time. You can see Dacos had 115, not bad at all. Maxi Gawn with one of his worst performances, 86 points that you can see on the right side there. Nick Martin, 95, he's had better for sure. Hayden Young, probably one of his better games, so he caught 2 out of 5 on their best days. Merritt on his worst. Gawn probably on one of his worst. Martin was okay. Like, there's ways this team can improve without having to touch it. So I'm hopeful that that is going to be the case this week and we can manage to pull off a big Star Powers win. The same goes with the Ultra. This one, much better than the normal silver one. But again, if you can stick with it, if it works, sometimes you don't need to change it. Sometimes you can leave it as it is, and I'm hopeful that this is how it's going to go for us this week. My only other thought was maybe switching up the Star Powers. I'm not too sure. Tom Green, I'm trying to stay away from, but Newcomb sometimes occasionally has an outburst, but Sarong at the moment is the easy choice for me on the regular, so hopefully it keeps going that way for me. I am happy with Star Powers. But of course, top team is probably the most important one for me this year with how it is gone, and this is where the changes start to get made. Big change, Dawson is our midfielder, Jordan Dawson. He is going to be playing a very important game against West Coast, and I'm hopeful that his game style works well against them. I can only have my fingers crossed. My midfielders have been ruining me these last few weeks. I'm hopeful that this will be closer to 500 this week. If we want that number one spot at the end of the year, we have to do it. We just have to keep going because players like this, who are getting 530s. Like everyone here had 500. This dude caught up over 100 points. He is less than 200 away from me. Or he's at about 200 away from me. So I can't have too many more bad weeks while he's having good ones. I need to make sure I'm still on top. Maybe not putting in Rowan Marshall is a bit of a mistake. But again, if I trust him in star powers, I feel like I need to trust him with the top 4 and the top 18 in that ruck position. Heaney is obvious. Dacos, not so obvious, but a good pick nonetheless. I just need Dawson to hit, man. I really need Dawson to hit. So, fingers crossed for sure. We go to top 18, and we see ourselves a better week last week compared to top 4, but still, our worst game mode, which is not what I expected this year. I did not expect top 18 to be my worst game mode. I thought it would be probably star powers, silver star powers, but no, it's been top 18. I think top 18's been one of our best in previous years, so we've got a lot to work on here. We've got Luke Ryan coming back in. He is replacing someone else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he is replacing someone. I honestly could not tell you. And it's bad that I can't remember. I'm having a look here. Nick Blakey, that's who it was. Blakey, not a great week last week, and he's not a regular for me. He can have occasional outbursts, but Luke seems to have the more often occasional outbursts. I'm hopeful we called him on a good week this week. He had 126 last time, 107 on average, and he's second best in terms of averages. So you'd feel Luke Ryan can do it again, but anytime I've put him in, he's ruined me. So that's obviously something we want to stop this week. Midfield's getting a big change up. Like I said, Dawson is in our top 4, so we're giving him a run in the top 18. Anderson comes back. Man, if he has a bad week, I'm going to definitely take him out for good. He is just an absolute jinx to me if he doesn't have a good week this week. 142 the week after I had him in is just pain, but Errol Goulden's also getting a run. Hopefully, with this game tonight against the Dogs, he will be very helpful in a win that we've tipped. And Zachy Merritt and Caleb Sarong are the only ones that stay. So the decision did come down to whether it was Merritt or Martin, Nick Martin, the other one. I didn't know whether I wanted one or the other. I've gone with Merritt. Could be a mistake. I will have to eat my words if it is Merritt with the worse off game. But fingers crossed, things go our way. And then Sarong, he's a bit of a weird one now. I don't know what to think of him. I've been thinking about changing him out, but every time I do, he drops a big game. So I'm hopeful that this is another week he does so. It's just so hard to predict players this season. So hard. And then forward line, some massive changes. So Todd Marshall, this could be my biggest risk of the year. He is up against North Melbourne. Obviously a backline that's struggling. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it means he's going to play well. He's a tall forward that's probably going to get opportunities to kick goals. And so I'm thinking Todd may be the pick. Was thinking maybe Willie Rioli, but I don't know. Shea stays in. Luke Jackson comes in. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. Obviously, I missed out on his play last week as I didn't realize he was the ruck. And it's still not even been decided if Sean Darcy is going to play this week. So if he is a late call-up, this could make things very interesting for Luke. It may be an unfortunate miss in that department. So it's going to be a tough one for sure. Mackay, Myers, and Heaney also staying in. The 2 changes in the forward load, the changes in the midfield. Like, there is a lot of change compared to what I'm usually doing for this top 18 mode because things have to change, right? I haven't had too many prize card wins this year from top 18, so I need to do something different, and I feel like I've done that this weekend. I can only hope that it works out our way. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as best as you possibly can. This is going to be a stressful week, man, and I am hoping, fingers crossed, that the results go our way. I will not know what to do if we manage to mess this one up. This could be honestly telling for the rest of the season. I think it's a lot more important than most weeks, if I'm being completely honest. We've been on a bit of a dry streak. We can manage to get ourselves a good performance, especially top 4. Then we'll have ourselves a chance at keeping that number 1 position for the rest of the year, I reckon. But I appreciate you all tuning into this one. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything is always very, very much appreciated. Thank you all for tuning in once again, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.